Here we come, Jiren!
Yo, what's good guys, Luca here, bringing you guys for a different video. However, first of all, I'm going to apologize for not having a video out on Thursday, because by the time this video comes up, it will be, like Saturday. So yeah, I should probably apologize in the video before, which will be the Warrior of Hope, episode 1. But again, I'm recording this on a completely different day, so I don't know what days future me has planned to put these videos out. But who knows. But anyway, let's get back to the main point of the video. Now, we are here today to talk about a few things. Now, you guys are probably wondering, obviously, what do I use to edit my thumbnails, or to make my thumbnails rather, to make my channel layouts, my channel art, my avatar, whatnot. So pretty much I use one of two things, and you guys can also use these one of two things depending on your preference. Now, the first is, of course, Adobe Photoshop. This is probably the most straightforward thing you could possibly get, because pretty much everyone uses it. Even I use it to a degree, but I don't have it anymore because I'm planning on replacing parts of my PC, so I decided to not uninstall it, just to get rid of it. And plus, I have something much better, because you do have to pay for all the Adobe programs, all the Creative Cloud programs, which is a pain. So, and my membership ran out recently, so, or my yearly thing, because you have to pay for it, I think, every year, I'm pretty sure. I'm not 100% sure about that, but I have owned it before. It's just currently not on my desktop. I don't know where the hell it is. I'm pretty sure it's like somewhere in my other applications, but that's beside the point. Again, Adobe Photoshop is probably the best option for you to use. However, I think the next best option you could do is going with this thing right here, if you can see it, Pixlr. Now, of course, Pixlr is pretty much Adobe Photoshop, and I'm here to teach you how to, of course, use it. So we got it over here loaded up. As you see, Pixlr is a website. It's an actual site. It's called Pixlr Editor, and I'm not too sure there's some added stuff in there as well. Oh, it's right up here. Pixlr E, which I'm pretty sure stands for editor, photo editor, free image editing tools. It's pretty much like Photoshop, except it's online and it's free, and you do need to get premium to get the full access to mostly everything, but this thing pretty much gets the job done for me. This is what I used when I first started. I'm currently using it now because I no longer have Photoshop on my PC, unfortunately. But this is a very good alternative and substitute, in fact, for Photoshop. So I'm going to quickly teach you guys how to, of course, make it. So as you see, I have got projects, or latest projects here, which I have actually been making. Like, obviously, as you see, I did my No Way Home reaction a few days ago. I actually created this for the Warrior of Hope, but I didn't end up using it. So I'm just going to keep it there, because why not? Of course, we got the review video that came out, I think, well, by the time this video comes out, it came out on Wednesday, if I recall. Not 100% sure. Yeah, next, obviously, we had the welcome to the channel one, and obviously we have my watermark, and then all these other ones. You get the points. Pretty much, I've made a lot of thumbnails and images. So obviously, like Photoshop, you can make thumbnails, you can make layouts, you can make channel arts, you can make a lot of good stuff with this. And that's only the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to show you how to quickly use this app. I'm not going to give you a full rundown, because that will take way too long. So for the time being, I'm going to just, let's say we're going to make a thumbnail. Obviously, if you want to make a thumbnail, you will use this one, the Full HD, the 1920 x 1080, because that is pretty much the best option for a thumbnail. If you're looking to create something else, like a Facebook profile picture, which in all fairness, you could do this with anything. You could do it with any app, in all fairness. You have Instagram, Facebook. This, I assume, is for like big screens and whatnot. This, I'm not entirely sure, but I don't use all of these options. I use mainly the web options. I use the Instagram options as well sometimes. So again, it's all entirely up to you what you want to create. But next part is very important. So obviously you want to title your thing. Again, we're just going to say we're going to create a title for Warrior of Hope episode 1. Let's just call it that. And of course, you don't want to change the width or height because it's already selected for you. But unless you have your own dimensions, you want to, of course, do that. If you're planning to do something different, then do as you please. And finally, this next part is the most important part. I'd say leave the background as it is, because if you click background, it will ask you to choose a colored background, which you do not want. You want a transparent background. That is the best thing you can probably get. And then you go ahead and click create, and as you see, you get an entire black and gray, black and gray wallpaper here. So yeah, this is your transparent background. Of course, it's going to be plain. So next thing, of course, if you want to create a thumbnail, for me, my thumbnails are relatively simple. I just put like pop a picture there, like a massive one with the same dimensions as my big square black and white layout, whatever you want to call it, transparent layout. There you go. So yeah, pretty much you just pop a picture there, and of course here you have your layers. Now if you've used Photoshop, you'll notice that some of these features are very similar to Photoshop, so you will most likely know what you're doing. So Photoshop has obviously got layers as well. This is layer 1. Of course, that's now if you go here, you know that is adding an ad. Well then, that has never happened before. That's like the first time that's happened. But yeah, okay, so here we have, you can add a new layer, of course, that's up to you, but for the purpose of this video, we're just gonna like add images layer, because of course you can go to your files, and yeah, I have a Warrior of Hope wallpaper right here already set out, so you can just click that. You just click whatever one you want, whichever one you think is right. So of course you can see this picture is slightly smaller than the image. Of course you could just extend it to make it the size you want. Of course it might not fit, like in this case, or in this case we're lucky and it does fit, but some pictures might not fit, so you might need to stretch them out a bit. But again, I think it's best for you to find a picture that is around the same size as your, what's it called, your dimensions. Thankfully this wallpaper, I found it and it was supposed to be the same size. Apparently I don't know what happened there, but it was 1280 by 720, so it was the pretty much YouTube quality, I'm pretty sure. So yeah, you can just increase that. It won't really do anything, especially if it's like a picture like this, because it's of course supposed to look not this blurry, I suppose, but anyway. But again, yeah, we're just going to keep this picture as it is. Of course, now you can decide, if you click on the layer, you can decide, of course, if you want to add highlights, color, anything like that. Of course, you want to go here. This is for more so text, but I would leave that as it is. Next, okay, let's see, brightness and contrast. Of course, you can decide whether you want to make it bright, blind your eyes, or you want to make it darker. Of course, we're playing the Warrior of Hope, so you might want to make it darker for something like that. Of course, that makes it somewhat lighter. Look, if you look here, it's somewhat darker. Of course, now it's darker. Yeah, blah blah blah. You get the message. So very much, yeah, you can do it like that. And then, of course, don't forget you have to click apply. I'm talking too fast. Of course, this is to compare between the two. So again, we'll just click apply for this case. So it's just random. Again, you can change it to whatever settings you want. It's up to you. Next, you have temperature and tint. Of course, this is to change the color. You can change it to blue. Like again, it's all dependent on preference. So it's up to you. You have green. Like again, it's all up to you. Tint. Again, it's pretty much the same. All up to you. And yeah. So let's just click apply. That looks good. Why not? And let's see, of course you have hue and saturation, which is where if you change the color. Of course that looks completely awful. Like if we just move that, you can see the image. Of course you don't want that. You like a pink Gohan, wouldn't look nice, wouldn't look bad, I mean, but still, I'm kidding, but still. Obviously if you don't want to apply, you press cancel. You have saturation, that's to change it to black to white, or like to make it more look old. Of course it's up to you. It's a black and white video, why not? But again, that's completely up to you. And then lightness is to make it brighter and blind me. And then obviously you have the darkness as well, which in all fairness, that looks nice. So if we just change back to 0, and yeah, that looks nice. Having a bit of a darker feel makes it look nicer. And yeah, let's just click. You can colorize it as well. You can make it like that, but no one ever colorizes their stuff. So just leave it as it is. So I'm going to just got rid of my stuff. Well, let's go -15 and we'll click apply. So yeah, you're probably wondering what else can we do to this. There's a bunch of stuff you can do, but I've just covered the 3 basic ones. These are your 3 basic ones, so I'd say stick with these 3 if you want to change color or want to make it look darker or whatnot, or lighter. Completely up to you. Again, depends on preference. And yes, that's pretty much when it comes to adjustment. Obviously you have filter, but this is when it comes to text, and that is moving on to our next point, which is text. And also, I should have mentioned this before, you have all the tools here. If you use Adobe Photoshop, all these tools will be completely familiar to you. Now I'm going to explain some of the ones you might not understand. Obviously here we have the magic wand. Magic wand, of course you use the magic wand to select areas with similar colors. Magic wand basically is to cut out, like say you have a transparent wallpaper, or non-transparent wallpaper rather. What you will have to do is, obviously if it's like got a white background, you can use this magic wand tool to click on the white background and get rid of it. It might not get rid of everything, so you might not need to go and select a few parts individually, but most of the time it should. So if it doesn't, again, just use the solution I mentioned and then you'll be fine. But yeah, that is pretty much one of the more complex tools, so you won't be using that if you've used Adobe Photoshop before, but we'll see of course, it's up to you. Next we have of course the crop tool, pretty straightforward. You can crop your picture to how it looks. You can also change the size with the crop tool. You have the cut out mask tool. Again, this is just to cut out certain parts or individual parts of the layer. We skip this. Heal, of course, remove spots that are unwanted. Again, just make it look clean. Liquefy, make this thing grow. Like pretty much, if you see this example, his eye is normal there, big eye there. That's pretty much what it does. Just again, if you want like a full-on tutorial, then again, it's up to you. You have to go look at another video, because my video is just explaining the straightforward basics. But yeah, I'm not going to explain all these tools. I'm pretty sure you get the straightforward ones. Obviously, you have your eraser, you have your pens and pencils and whatever. And you have your fill, where you can fill a whole area with a single color. And then gradient, pretty straightforward. Shape, obviously, to add shapes if you want to add shapes. If you're doing a layout, like I was doing for this series when I kind of just didn't use it. If you want to do a shape, of course, that's better for doing like layouts when it comes to playing maybe Pokemon games is a good example. Or when you're doing, say, actually I don't know. But still, layouts are still good to have anyway, but still, shapes is better to use when you're using layouts. So again, up to you. And of course, you have the frame tool, which is obviously if you want to frame your stuff, like pictures or anything like that. And then finally, we move on to the text tool. We are going to ignore these last three because I don't think anyone really uses these last three all that often. So maybe some people use Pixlr, but I personally don't use it all that much. But yeah, next we move on to this last tool, which is the text. Obviously, if you click on this, text, well, obviously you can pick where you want to put your text, and then obviously you will put add. And when that appears, obviously the text will come up as Arial at first. So let's just say we're going to be doing, the title's already had Dragon Ball Z Kakarot, so obviously we want to put episode 1 or something like that. So that's pretty straightforward. Obviously you can choose a text. Now, quick thing I should mention, obviously not all these texts are available, because as you see, this text is not available because you need premium. The crown means you need premium. Again, I'm pretty sure I've never had any problems with anything else other than the text, which is, in all fairness, if you want a default text, you can easily go to a few of these, which, let's see, the ones I normally use are before heard. Is that what that says? I can't read. But still, whatever that says, born heard, never mind, I can't read. But yeah, I use this one. I use it more for my, like, not scarier videos, but it's a good Halloween one, I would say. It's quite nice. I like it for Halloween, but I don't know, it's more of a Halloween one. That's what I feel like it is. Another good one, obviously, would be, let's see, Daddy Day. Daddy Day is pretty straightforward. It's pretty much bold, all in caps. Pretty straightforward. There are a lot of other ones like that, but personally this one is easier to find because it's near the beginning. So yeah, we'll just select this one, and there's an ad here. Another common thing that this site gets, Pixlr gets rather, is ads, but again, that's only because it's not free, blah blah blah. So obviously you want to shrink it as much as you can. Obviously if you want to keep the text small, that's up to you, but of course you can change the size, color and whatnot. But for the sake of this, we're going to just keep this white. Actually, we won't. Actually, we might change it to a nice looking orange. And of course, this has been absolutely slaughtered. Poor guy. So yeah, we'll have this here. A bit too big for my liking, so I'm going to shrink it. Yeah, that looks about right. We're going to keep that like that. Next, we're obviously going to change the color. So I'm going to go for a more orange color because Kakarot, Gohan, they both wear orange. So we're going to go for that. That looks pretty nice. And next up, this one's a bit more complicated. Obviously, if you want to center it or want to put it to the left, to the right, wherever you want it, you can choose uppercase, which in all fairness, it doesn't matter if you choose uppercase on this one because they're already uppercase. You can do italic, which you can bend it that way, and then obviously you have bold. But this wallpaper, this text doesn't look very nice and bold, so I'm just going to keep it as it is. And yeah, so we're pretty much going to put that in, we're going to put it in the corner where Gohan and Trunks are sitting, so I think that would look nice. And finally, we're gonna, obviously you have the styles, you have your curve, which in all fairness, no one will use the curve, like unless Like again, if you want to do that, that's up to you. I personally don't do it, but that's up to you. Background, you want to give it a background, sure, but most thumbnails don't use background. So again, some of these might be better for obviously working on layouts. If you, again, another thing guys, if you want me to do like individual stuff, obviously if you want me to make a video for layouts, this one's more based on thumbnails. If you want me to make one for layouts, for channel arts, for avatars, whatever you want, just leave a like for this video. So if you want more, I probably will do another one, but I'm not going to spoil on what it is. I'll probably just mention it at the end in all fairness, but still. But yeah, if I will do another one of these picture videos or tutorial videos for this, so just comment what one you want next for what like category. So I'm giving you the 3 categories now, being layouts, channel art, and avatar. I lost my train of thought there, but yeah, moving back to the video. Obviously we've covered backgrounds, we don't really need a background. The one I mainly like to use are outline and shadow. They are the best options mainly. So obviously you have outline here. As you see, it's a bit of a grey outline, so I'm going to go for more black, just put that all the way to the corner. Obviously you can decide the size, so we're just going to make it slightly bigger, not too big because it will look not that nice. And punch out, that will make it obviously just the outline in all fairness, but you don't want that. But yeah, that's up to you. It's all up to you. Distance, like you can, it's going to look a bit ugly if you put the distance too far, so I'm just going to leave it as it is. And finally, oh wait, there's more, never mind. I never actually saw this option before, but regardless, we'll just leave it as it is. Next, we have shadow. You can include a shadow if you like, but that's all up to you. For the sake of this video, we're going to make the shadow a lighter orange. Yeah, much lighter orange. I think that will look nice. Yeah, it looks nice. And then you can decide whether you want it to blur out too much, but we had at 30 last time, so we're just going to leave it like that. Distance, you can decide how far you want it, but mainly you don't want it that far, because if not, it will ruin the entire thing. So I would say keep it around the 20 mark, so that's up to you. Opacity, of course, if you want to raise that to 100 to make it actually seem you can see it, then sure, good on you. But I personally would just keep it as light as possible, so I say maybe the 40 mark is good for this. So yeah, we're pretty much good there. Obviously you can shift stuff or move stuff as you please, so that's up to you. But yeah, that looks pretty nice. That looks pretty nice. Again, like I said, my thumbnails are pretty more straightforward than other people's, so it's completely up to you what you want. In all fairness, I probably will need to do more fine tuning to this thumbnail, so it's completely up to you what you want to do. So depending on what you do, again, you could even move this over here if you wanted to. That's another thing I could have remembered. You can move anywhere you want, but again, I would just choose wherever I like. Again, I will decide on how things look because this is my thumbnail, what and blah blah blah, and whatever you like. But for you guys it might be different, so it's up to you to decide what you want. So yeah, that is how this thumbnail is going to look. And one final thing I would like to teach all of you, I haven't gone through everything of course, but I'm going through the pretty much basics here. But one final thing I like to teach all of you, if you want to obviously save and download this, you can go to File, Save, and of course it comes up here. And of course I got rid of my episode 1 for whatever reason. Now you obviously have 4 picture types. Obviously you want to choose between JPEG or PNG. So for me, I always go with JPEG unless I need a PNG file for something specific, but JPEG is more preferred because you can choose the quality of the video, which always you will want to put at 100%. It is going to be a hefty download because obviously it's 1.5 gigabytes, or megabytes rather. So yeah, obviously, and you want to keep that on high because that will be the best possible quality. So yeah, it will look nice, and then you go ahead and click download, and it should download in the corner right here. Obviously, if you want to, again, one more thing, but once this thing goes away, obviously it does mention you can try premium for free, but that's obviously like a 7-day free trial, so I wouldn't recommend it because you can pretty much use all the features on here for free, so there's really no point. And of course we have the picture over here, so I'm just gonna put that over there for the time being. I'm gonna close it, and obviously if you want to close your image, you close your image, and of course it comes up in the corner over here. So yeah, it looks pretty nice in the corner there because you can open any of your images. So let's just say we wanted to open, let's say this one. It looks a bit blurry now because it's loading in, but still. Yeah, let's just say we want to open this one. It looks nice, cool. It may look blurry now because of obviously you're in the editor, but once you download it, the quality will improve exponentially. So I will 100% recommend you use this editor, but for now, obviously we're not going to be using this one. We're going to be closing it. Again, I normally use this more to create thumbnails, but I do from time to time like to create maybe layouts or channel art. I actually come on to put my channel art quite often, so whenever I want to change my channel art or like improve it, I'll come here because it's already got my stuff saved, so it's quite good. But yeah, aside from that, you can also open images. I also forgot to mention, you can open like images from like Google. Let's just say I want to open that image I had over here, like the default image. Then yeah, sure. Or you can load a URL image, but some URLs don't work, so it's better you save the image or open the image from like a file space or whatever. But you can create many things on here. But I am gonna let you guys do experimenting for yourself. So for the time being, that is all I've got for that video. I hope you guys like enjoyed this type of video. I've never done this type of video, so I thought it'd be maybe a bit more different and unique, because I thought, okay, maybe it's a bit more exciting. So yeah, but other than that, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you would like to see another video like this, please make sure to comment and we'll see what I can do. But next video, I think I'm going to focus more on video editors rather than photo editors. So I will, of course, bring that all up in a later video, but for the time being, hope you enjoyed this video. My name's Luca, and I'll see you guys whenever I see you. Peace.